Well, now, as they say, for something completely different, mining companies, and two of them looking to expand their operations. Well, firstly, Pensana Rare Earth is the first rare earths miner to list on London's main stock market in a decade. It operates in Angola and hopes to benefit from big stimulus packages worldwide and a boom in demand for what it digs out of the ground. Meanwhile, closer to home, Cornish Lithium is raising cash to begin mining in Cornwall. Well, joining me now, I can speak to the Pensana Rare Earths chairman, Paul Averley, and the Cornish Lithium CEO, Jeremy Ruthall. Welcome to you both. Paul, let me start with you. You were already listed in Australia. Why the need for a London listing?
The big exposures here in Europe, Ian, as you mentioned at the beginning of your show, these stimulus programs are not like 2008. We're going to stimulate the economy, not by putting money into the old legacy industries. These are going into these new energy sectors. You talked about the green economy, the Chancellor's talking about in the UK. In Europe, it's the European Green Deal. And what that manifests is it's money directly into two big sectors. It's offshore wind, which we're seeing, and you showed some pictures of it at the beginning of your show. The North Sea offshore wind power hub is going to be 6 times bigger than China's 3 gorges down. This is the biggest energy installation on the planet, and it's going to stimulate the demand for metals. And one of the metals for it, important metals, is the metal that we mine. It's the rare earth that it provides for the magnets. And the other area, which you've heard from Angela Merkel, she has gone much bigger than our Chancellor. She's come out and said she's going to put 130 billion euros into her main industry, but not the old part of her main industry, not the traditional car industry. She's putting into EVs. She's putting 130 billion to 70,000 charging stations and a subsidy, 6,000 euros per electric vehicle. So there's 2 massive sectors, EVs, offshore wind turbines, and they both need the metals that we're going to be mining.
Paul, you didn't raise any new money in this listing. Why not?
We don't need any. The Angolan Sovereign Wealth Fund has backed us all the way. This is our second contribution to the company. They now own 18% of the company. They've made a decision. They want to diversify their economy away from oil and gas and diamonds and into mining, tourism, and agriculture. We're the flagship new mine off the ground, and they've taken this opportunity to put their money back into their country by backing us.
Well, Jeremy, let's bring you in. Good to see you again. Now, you completed a fundraising in October last year, but you did so via crowdfunding rather than via traditional equity capital markets. Why was that?
We did indeed. We did it because it was we think a new, novel way of raising money. We're a very innovative company ourselves, looking to do something amazing in the UK, and really chose to do crowdfunding. It's regulated by the FCA, which is good. But it was a way of keeping our company private, and that's the main reason we did it.
Who are you competing with to produce lithium? Who are the big competing producers worldwide?
We're competing with a number of different sources of lithium, mainly from South America, where it's mined or extracted from brine, which is leading to some questions on environment, that's for sure. And also from Australia, where it's extracted from rock. Again, that rock then has to go to most of it has to go to China for processing. And again, the environmental footprint of that is quite challenging. Whereas the process we're trying to develop here in Cornwall is very environmentally friendly. And lots of people say that lithium is an abundant element, which indeed it is, but economically, there's not many deposits around the world which you can extract it from. We believe that there is a very good potential in Cornwall, strangely enough.
Does that mean potentially you could market this as ethically mined lithium?
That's exactly what we're all about, trying to ethically mine it from 2 sources in Cornwall. One is from underground geothermal water, which is attracting a lot of attention, particularly in Europe. Actually, the European Union's already funded very similar projects in Europe. And also from lithium from rock, where we are very encouraged by our recent drilling program. And indeed, we've just raised some more money, which we announced today, again, from our existing shareholders rather than who were the ones who participated in the crowdfund.
Now, Paul, this would be the first rare earth mine in a decade that you're developing. Why has there been so little investment in this field outside China?
Well, it's commonly said that rare earths are not rare; they're common. But rare earth mines are very, very unique. And as you mentioned, the last one was built 12 years ago. And the reason for that is they're difficult. They're expensive and they're difficult to get permitted. So we're in the fortunate position we've recently had presidential approval for the development of our mine. And as we mentioned earlier, we've got very, very strong financial backing. So that's going to leapfrog us into the front of bringing this mine into development.
Now, Jeremy, notwithstanding the fact that you're seeking to mine lithium, you've also made a big copper find recently.
We did. We drilled one of our brine drilling for geothermal water. We hit a very, very large copper vein. Unfortunately, we don't have the mineral rights for that, but we're delighted to see that the company that does went up like nearly $4 million on their Toronto Stock Exchange. That's Strongbow, who we work very closely with. But no, it just shows you the potential that still remains in Cornwall when you start looking. I mean, it is an amazing opportunity and that's what we're all about, reevaluating the potential of Cornwall for metals of the future, such as lithium, copper, and all these things that will be needed for electric vehicles as we go forward.
Nice to finish on a positive note. Jeremy, Paul, very good to talk to you both. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks.